And we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ango Show, May 21st, 2025. Holy shit,
Let's
we got it
go.
to work. We got it to work. We're here. This is
Yup,
crazy.
yup.
This is
Let's do
crazy.
this, man.
What's up, Billy? How are you, buddy?
What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm good, man. I just, a little stressed out. The YouTube stuff just hasn't been working. It hasn't been working. So we apologize for being 5 minutes late, but we're having issues where he can't hear me, I can't hear him, and we're
Yeah,
trying to get
man.
everything working. And
It's
you know,
all
it's
over the place.
it's crazy too because we be like, I'll pay for a service and then pay for Streamlabs and then pay for this and then it works and then it kind of works and then something doesn't
Right.
work.
You know what
It's
I'm
just
saying, dude?
yeah, it's gotten very, very, very annoying,
It
which
has.
is obviously not fun. You know.
Yeah, it sucks, man. But, we're figuring it out as time goes on. So I should let everybody know I am live on TikTok currently.
So yeah, we got Billy to go live on TikTok. I can't go live on TikTok still.
Which is
Um,
stupid.
yeah.
Yeah, no fun, man. No fun. But I am live over on TikTok. So all my TikTok people, if you have not, you guys should come over to YouTube. It's a lot of fun over here.
Yeah, shout out to everybody watching. Listen, I don't know how today's stream is gonna go. I'm not in a good mood. So
Why is your mood off?
why is my mood off?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just not in a good mood.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So I'm gonna try my best.
Hey, we're here.
Shout out to the chat. I don't know, bro. I think I'm just so stressed out. I can't get these live streams to work the way I want them to work. And
I know, man, and we've been fighting for it for so long trying to figure it out. People don't even have the slightest of clue.
yeah.
We're really putting in the extra effort trying to get this done, man.
Yeah, it's just not fun, bro. It's not fun. It's a pain in the ass. And today is just such a hectic day in general, and then it's like you're trying to do this and
right.
yeah, I don't know how to explain it, bro. I don't know how to explain it. I'm trying my best, guys. We're gonna obviously interact and talk, and I think I have some ideas in my mind of hopefully when this will all be worked out, but it's probably not gonna work out, and I don't know. Who knows? Maybe the Ango Show Live just goes away for good.
Right. Oh Lord, don't say that.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll figure this out, dude. We're gonna get this.
Yeah. It's just, the thing is for me, it's for so long, my entire YouTube journey for so long, I've just kind of been like a perfectionist.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
this is like one thing where it's just like I'm not really too pleased with the experience, I'm trying my best. I'm trying to figure it all out and doing certain things and having certain things being done. And then it's like, even today, like we're having issues with the audio, and it's like, well, shit, bro. Like that's like another issue that shouldn't be an issue because that's usually the easiest issue to figure out,
Right, exactly.
So that's kind of the thing. But yeah, we'll get through it. We're going to talk about NXT. There was a lot of things that pissed me off about NXT.
Oh no.
So that's another reason
This
why
guy
my
is
mood
not
is shit.
happy. He is not
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of spoiled it. If you guys watch me on YouTube Shorts or TikTok, literally, I have a TikTok short. I don't know why this made me so mad, but it did. It did, and I'm going to talk about it. We'll get through it. We do have a super chat goal active. Billy already got 2 super chats on his channel.
I have a
right
super
hand
chat
cam
goal active myself.
Nice. Right hand cam coming through for Billy. He says, you mean to tell me that Ango is pissed off about Trick and Joe Hendry concert? That's funny to me. Trick could have been better. Yeah, bro. It's just like it's so cringy to me. It's a cringe fest. It's like what are we doing here? NXT has gotten so good at being a little bit more serious of a product, and then I don't know. I see Trick Williams rapping and Joe Hendry singing, and like, I mean, I knew. I'm not dumb, right? I knew what they advertised for the show. I'm not an idiot, but I can't take this shit serious, bro. This is for a world championship. And then some dimwit left me a comment on TikTok and was like, yo, like if this was The Rock, would you still be mad? Yeah, it's cringy. It's cringy. I don't know. It's just cringe. I like Joe Hendry. I like Trick Williams. That shit was just cringe to me. I don't know.
So I'll agree with you on the idea of like the whole average Joe thing. I thought that was kind of cringy. I was like, do we have to do that? So I wasn't necessarily the biggest fan of Tricks, and I think the reason why I wasn't the biggest fan of Tricks is because it felt unauthentic. It didn't feel real. I know Trick is a rapper and stuff like that, and that's what he does, but it naturally didn't feel real to me. I didn't feel what he was saying. It didn't strike me maybe the way that I wanted it to. But when it came down to Joe Hendry, I actually felt opposite. I know in the video you talked about, Joe Hendry and them doing it over on TNA, and you
Yeah.
even said it. You were like, "Oh yeah, this is Joe Hendry's shtick." It is. It is Joe Hendry's shtick, and it fits Joe Hendry. It works for him. That's what he does. He gets out there, he sits down, he does the concerts, and just how he was able to engage the crowd. I felt like he engaged the crowd a little bit more maybe than Trick did. So I definitely feel like Trick could have been just a tad bit better. But Joe Hendry, he played that part really well. I genuinely think so.
The thing is though, it's just cringy, bro. It's a cringe fest. I'm sorry, bro. Like we have Trick Williams having a serious heel run and then hearing him rap, and Joe Hendry, who's the world champion, who should be taking Trick Williams seriously.
For sure.
I don't know. Just to me, it's like, bro, this is your world championship feud. I don't know. It just don't sit right with me, bro. It
No,
just
I
don't.
absolutely understand. I hear you, and I know exactly where you're coming from.
Yeah, it just doesn't sit right with me, and I'm straight, bro. Like I'm straight on that. To me that was my biggest that was my biggest like
That's like your biggest gripe with the show.
yeah. Everything else was sick. I just that was my thumbs down.
Yeah, the
I like
wrestling
even
was great.
yeah, like even the chair shot. Like the thing is like the chair shot, the guitar shot of
Yeah,
Joe Hendry. Like
yeah.
oh man, see, it's putting me to sleep even talking about it. That's how much I was just
This
annoyed
guy
with it,
is
bro.
not in the loop, y'all. This guy is not there with us today. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm
No,
not,
dude. I
bro.
mean, I'll be honest with you. It, when it comes down to that, they did what they needed to improve the story and push it forward. I feel like
But
that's
did it
important.
really do that?
Yes, yes, and we may have our disagreements here, but I do think that at the very end, when they got in each other's face and they did those things, I felt like it was able to push the story forward. And I seen Cam actually dropped in the chat. He said Trick Williams heel run right now is a 3 out of 10. I will actually agree with that. Now, while it did improve the story, I don't think that Trick's heel run is what it's supposed to be. I feel like they're missing with it, if that makes any sense. Like
I
it's
thought it
just
was
not hitting
perfect
for
up.
me.
I thought it was perfect up until yesterday. To be
Well,
honest, I thought it was perfect up until yesterday. He's been coming into TNA, attacking Joe Hendry, killing it, and then
yeah.
he's on NXT doing a fucking rap and sing off, bro. Like, come on, man. This is just I don't know. To me, it was just a very dumb idea. It was a dumb idea when they launched it, but of course, I was like, whatever. Like it is
Right.
what it is. And then you see it in practice, and I'm like, no, I don't. I don't think it really made me excited for their match. I don't think I don't know. To me, it just doesn't seem like the way I would be booking a serious world championship feud.
Yeah, and we also have to take into account that they are booking 2 world championships at the same time, right?
Well, it doesn't matter. One's with TNA and one's with your own. And the one
Right,
with Miles and Oba was great. No issue there.
for
They've been
sure.
doing a
But
great job.
for you, they weren't doing a sing off. They weren't singing their way into the world title picture.
Yeah, but I mean, listen, my point that I'm trying to make here is that one world championship feud has an underdog and it has a guy who's like the baby face, like
For
who's
sure.
ready to,
Yeah.
he's trying to prove the world wrong that you can get through obstacles in life and make it. And then
Hmm.
the other world championship feud is let's see who fucking performs better.
Right.
Come on. Come on. Come on, bro.
I understand. I definitely do. I'm not gonna sit here and rag against you or anything like that. I definitely understand where you're coming from. But
Yeah, like
I think Phil said it pretty well in the chat. He said Joe Hendry put him to sleep and Trick felt forced. Now, I don't think Joe Hendry put me to sleep. I'll just be honest there. But I will say, uh, Trick did feel forced.
yeah.
I lost
Shout
it for a
shout
second.
Yeah, shout out to Cam. Dex dropped a $5 super chat on Billy's channel. He says, "Hey yo, shout out Billy and Ango. Plus, Sean Legacy is gonna be on one of them. Wait, hold on, my dyslexia is kicking in. Is gonna be on one of them ones. Is gonna be not on. Okay, hold on. What is wrong with me?
Plus,
Plus, Sean
he's gonna
Legacy
be
is
one
going to
of
be
them
one
ones.
of them ones. Best believe. Yeah.
There you go. There you
My
go.
God, I can't read, bro. What the?
Don't do it. Don't do it. There you go. There you go.
Sean Legacy's sick, bro.
He is. That triple threat match that we seen yesterday, Sean Legacy, Ashante the Adonis, and Javon Evans was outstanding.
Yeah, very very good stuff there. Sean Legacy is one of those dudes where I feel like he is going to end up being very good in WWE. If he's not the WWE Evolve World Champion, I would go as far as saying that's going to be a problem, but I don't know. I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, dude. I mean, we've been saying it for a long time. The developmental here with NXT and how, I mean, they're just the storytelling on the show. Like they hit it, kind of out of the park most of the time. The storytelling on NXT is, I know it's like not the big show that everybody watches and not everybody tunes into it, but they do a really good job with that. So I have to agree here. Sean Legacy kind of getting that rub kind of instantly, knowing that he's an Evolve guy, and just instantly kind of getting pushed into that North American Championship spot is outstanding.
He's talented, bro.
Yeah, he is. He's very talented, man, and he kind of reminds me of Ilya. Is that crazy to say?
No,
Just with his
it's not.
selling. No,
Yeah,
his selling reminds me so much of Ilya.
yeah, he's definitely I mean, he sells well, he performs well, he gets the crowd hype, he knows what
Right,
he's doing. I kind of feel like it's premature of putting him on NXT because at this point he doesn't even need to be on Evolve. Like him being on NXT shows that he doesn't need to be on Evolve.
right.
But it will be really cool because if he does become Evolve World Champion, which I do believe he will be, it will be nice to see how that transcends. Like maybe having a pay-per-view for NXT where the Evolve Championship is on the line as well, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Sick though. Sick. I think yeah, Dex, I agree. Sean Legacy is just
He is
he's crazy,
amazing.
bro.
And shout out, by the way, to Cam and Dex for the super chats. You guys are awesome. Thank you, guys.
Yes. Luke Newman dropping a super chat here on the Angle Show for $1.99 says, sorry if that's off topic. I wonder if that's possible. Okay.
No, there was one before that.
Yeah, see, the chat's moving quick. I'm trying. Oh, Luke Newman dropped $1.99 to tell me about another super chat that he dropped for $1.99. Do you both see Bandito in the WWE in the future? Ooh, this is such an interesting topic. And honestly, you guys might be shocked to know that I could probably talk about this for like an hour.
That's
Bandito in
crazy.
WWE. Yeah,
Why do you say that?
there's in the past, there's been a lot of rumors and a lot of indications that maybe he would go to WWE.
Okay.
Well, there had been a lot of times where there had been quite a few times where WWE was interested, WWE wanted him. There was a time, even I want to say before Black and Gold like really blew up, there was a rumor that Bandito was going to go there. Like, yeah, there's been plenty of times where I thought it was going to happen. I can't talk about this for an hour, obviously, but what I could say is this. I think if WWE had the opportunity to bring in Bandito right now, like if Bandito was like, hey, I'm coming, like I'm a free agent, I'm ready, WWE would absolutely sign him. The problem is Bandito is probably going to end up being an AEW lifer guy. And the reason for that is largely just due to the fact that now he's running shit with ROH, Tony Khan, the way he's using Commander and Hologram and all these guys. Tony Khan will use Bandito.
Yeah.
I don't really foresee him leaving. But if you never know, man, you never say never in wrestling. Money talks.
No, that's the one thing about pro wrestling, right? That I think we all enjoy is that you genuinely never say never. That is the one thing that you don't do. Yeah, no, I'm kind of in agreement with you. I definitely see that guy as a lifer over in AEW just because of everything that he's doing in Ring of Honor. Obviously he's doing well there. From what I last remember, I'm not sure if anything changed. It's been a while since I watched. I know he was the Ring of Honor World Champion.
Yeah.
He'd won it from Chris Jericho. So, that's probably great for him. But again, kind of like you said, you never say never, right? That is the one thing that we can all sit here and agree on. Look at CM Punk. He was never supposed to come back. That was the guy who was supposed to be gone forever. And, well, look at there. Right?
Yeah.
So, never say never, man.
Yeah, shout out to Luke Newman for the super chats. Billy getting another super chat from Right Hand Cam. NXT as a show minus the concerts, 8.5 out of 10. Yeah, I think that's very valid.
Yeah, that's very valid. That's very valid. I feel bad because I didn't do a watch along yesterday, and normally my chat rates it on a scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah.
So a lot of them weren't able to rate that, and I feel so bad. But I will be live tonight, guys. I'm going to fix my mishap. I feel so bad. Uh, you know, I wasn't there yesterday. I had some technical issues, so I'm going to be live for Evolve tonight.
Love it.
Yes, sir.
Evolve. Billy's doing an Evolve watch along.
Yes, I'm interested to see. I obviously know Dynamite is obviously the bigger show when we talk about these things, but I think Evolve deserves to get some love, especially after what we've seen from Shawn Legacy. That was a lot of fun to watch. Obviously, they just introduced the championships nothing but a couple weeks ago, so want to see how it's going to play out. So this is I definitely owe you guys because I was not live for NXT, so I feel bad about that. So we'll be live tonight, man, on Wednesday, having a good time, enjoying ourselves. And yes, Phil, it switched to Evolve. I thought about it. I can't sit there and watch AEW, guys. I'm so sorry.
This is the go home show to Double or Nothing, and you don't even want to watch it. You're a fake ass fan, bro.
Oh no. Do not get me started. Do not. Wait till they find out I'm doing a Battleground watch along.
Oh, so you decided on that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I knew that. I knew that from the get up.
Yeah.
I've paid more attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
trust me, I'm keeping up with AEW. I'm kind of doing what Pete Rocks did, right? I'm scrolling on X, making sure that I'm keeping everything, right? I know everything that's going on, but my mind.
But you cannot talk about a show.
That's what I'm saying. So
yeah.
Therefore,
You cannot. Yeah.
So therefore, I'm going to do Evolve.
Bet.
You see how that works? You see how that works?
Yeah. Shout out to Cam. Toledo Channel, welcome back, buddy. Where you been? Haven't seen you in my chat in a couple days. Was getting worried.
Stressing.
Toledo Channel dropping a super chat. If NXT Europe is happening, then WWE needs to bring the takeover series with the signings of UK hot talents. The match quality will be fire. Yeah, 100%. I don't think they will do like takeover per se. I think they'll just have NXT Europe in its own pay-per-views. Okay. But if I'm WWE, this is what I would do. This is exactly what I would do. You want to make it official at Worlds Collide. When you have the pay-per-view, you run a video package announcing NXT Europe coming this September or whatever it is. Yeah. When NXT Europe like comes through, I don't know how they're going to distribute the show, right? I don't know. Does it go on Peacock? Does it go on Netflix? Does it get its own TV deal? Who knows? I personally think NXT Europe needs to be in a situation where they pre-tape it just like they did NXT UK. No problem. I'm okay with that. Yeah. Tape weeks in advance or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then just like how NXT does PLEs, they should do PLEs. Do them on Peacock in America and then Netflix, for global. Yeah. I don't know. It depends. Or do they put NXT Europe on Peacock completely? And then I don't know. That's the only thing I have a question for is how do they go?
It's going to depend on that deal, right?
Yeah.
With Peacock as it goes further, is it going to become a Netflix thing? You know what I mean? Like, because the deal's up in what, 2026?
I think so.
Yeah, I want to say that deal is up in 2026 with Peacock. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see how they maneuver that, because I kind of figure that all of their stuff will kind of be shipped over to Netflix.
Yeah.
That's just my assumption.
That's my assumption too, but Peacock and WWE, like NBC and WWE are cool, bro. Like they're
like they've been really good, and especially with WWE keeping SmackDown over there, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think the real question of this, I think NXT Europe will be fire. I think there's a lot of people who want to be doom and gloom about it because WWE's invading the indies over there. Personally speaking, I know this is going to make me sound like a really, really big asshole. I just don't care. I think WWE today is very different than WWE when NXT UK was a thing. WWE allows for wrestlers to be working the indies now if they approve it. I think WWE can do NXT Europe and let Rev Pro and some of these other companies work with the WWE NXT Europe team. Like, they don't have to completely infiltrate or kill the indie scene. They can let the wrestlers do it. If anything, it would be better too. Like if Luke Jacobs leaves Progress and comes to NXT Europe and becomes the NXT Europe champion,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And they want to use him in Progress, right? Go ahead, use him, right? But here's the thing: he's going to show up with his NXT Europe belt. He's going to represent the WWE brand. That's fine. It's not going to kill the indies if that's the case. Now, if WWE signs these people and like, well, you can't do the indies at all and you can't work with them, yeah, they're probably going to kill the European indie scene. That's bad, obviously. But I'm not going to have some sort of fake outrage until I see what they do, because it's no point in just kind of assuming.
It's just not going out and having fake outrage.
Yeah, exactly. Well, here's the thing. Yes, they killed the European UK indie scene when they did NXT UK. They absolutely did. But there was also the Me Too movement. There was the pandemic. There was a lot of things that impacted.
Yeah, I was about to say.
There was a lot of things. And also, that was a different regime. Now TKO is a little bit more lenient about certain things, and
for sure,
we'll see how it changes. But yeah, I'm excited to see what
NXT Europe I think will be cool. I mean, I'm just going to go out and say it. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, for sure. I love it. I'm excited about it. Shout out to Tolino Channel. David Primero dropping a $4.99. He says Sean Legacy has more charisma than those LFG peeps. He almost looks and moves like Osprey. Plus, Dark State makes me want to turn off my TV. So this is interesting because it's two separate points. I think Sean Legacy definitely has more charisma than many of these people from LFG. I think. Well, Sean Legacy was an indie wrestler, right? WWE ID program.
Yeah.
Now he's getting a taste of what it's like to be with WWE and bringing that on there, and I think that's going to be really good. I think as far as Dark State goes, I'm actually 100% comfortable saying this, despite the fact that they had a pretty cool video package yesterday. This is a group that is doomed 100%. As much as I like them, it's doomed. I'm not changing my mind when I told you that before.
I was about to say, yeah. These are guys who are in a group right now and eventually are going to break off before they go up to the main roster. I mean, as much as it could have been Trick, it could have been Stacks, it could have been numerous people with Dark State, and they did just keep it at that 4. I thought they could have done a lot of cool things with that, and it just seems like maybe they're not taking that route. The idea is really cool, you know what I'm saying? And I just don't think it was executed properly with Dark State. I genuinely don't.
I don't think it has anything to do with the execution of it, to be honest. I think they just...
I mean, go ahead and say it. I mean, I know what you're going to say. It's that maybe these 4 guys together just don't fit.
Yeah, they don't.
Yeah, we're allowed to say that. It's true. They don't. But yeah, the Sean Legacy stuff, that guy is amazing.
Yeah, he's fire, bro.
He's got more charisma than a lot of people.
Yeah, and here's the thing, right? Like, for those who talk about Will Ospreay, I don't want to go with comparisons because I don't think that's fair to Will or to Sean Legacy. But for people that like the comparisons in wrestling, if you're starting to see that he is kind of like Will Ospreay, let's say that's what his future is. Like, let's say he becomes a Will Ospreay. Well, then that justifies why WWE never needed Will Ospreay to begin with, right?
Absolutely.
So
absolutely. And then all those comments.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Shout out to David Primero for the $4.99. Appreciate you, brother. Luke Newman coming through with another $1.99. He says some people believe Joe Hendry will go to AEW. Will he go to WWE? I think if anybody is looking at Joe Hendry as a signing for AEW,
let's reassess things. Let's reassess things and really look at the bigger picture.
Yeah, I think Joe Hendry is a WWE guy. I think Joe Hendry's always wanted to be in WWE.
For sure. I mean, he's going on podcasts talking about being one of John Cena's opponents.
Yeah,
this guy, he's made for WWE.
WWE is grooming him for a full-time run. And you know what? Maybe this is also another hot topic, but I don't think WWE should sign Joe Hendry.
Yeah, we were talking about that on the phone earlier.
Yeah, I don't think so. You guys want to hear my little hot scorching take? WWE shouldn't sign Joe Hendry because at the end of the day, Joe Hendry went viral, and that's the only reason why WWE utilized him. That's the only reason why WWE want to work with him is because he got viral. But here's the thing, right? People go viral all the time. It doesn't mean you get to keep it forever. And Joe Hendry is very talented, and I do believe he's very talented. But he is a world champion guy in TNA. could be a world champion guy in NXT. I
Yeah.
don't foresee Joe Hendry being a world champion in WWE, Raw, SmackDown. Like it doesn't happen. To me, there are way more other people that are qualified, in my personal opinion. And if this is like one of those scorching hot takes that piss you off, then honestly, like that kind of sucks, because that's exactly why I need to make this clear. Just because you're talented in one company doesn't mean you're going to be the same talent everywhere else. TNA has lacked a top guy. They haven't had a definitive top guy, a top babyface in a very long time, very, very long time. And Joe Hendry's ability to go viral and get people to sing his entrance theme song and all these things, it's great and it's phenomenal. And yes, he's a good worker and he's an entertaining guy and he gets it. But that was because that's what TNA needed. WWE doesn't necessarily need that. He's not doing something where he's not an addition to WWE and something that they're lacking. You know what I mean? And so I don't
Yes.
even think WWE should sign him, because to be honest with you, once the viral stuff passes, eventually it's going to run its course. And what do you have? Just another mid-carder.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, very true. Um, it's hard to argue that, man, because I see where you're coming from. You know what I'm saying? I think I love Joe personally, right?
Yeah.
I think he's great, and I think we could all sit here and say that he's great. But again, you talk about like a clock. It's always ticking. There's always, especially if you're just sticking to the same thing and not reinventing, right? Because if you know something's gonna run dry, it's gonna run stale. You should be before trying to switch things up, trying to manipulate the gimmick to be something different. I think we talked about this yesterday. Dominic Mysterio is like a perfect example of that. You see something's running dry. All right, we got to change something. We got to change something. Maybe I need to grow my hair out. Maybe I got to grow the mustache. Like it's all these little minute details that really matter. And obviously Joe Hendry is not with the WWE yet. We don't even know if he will be, right? We're not even 100% certain that Joe Hendry will end up with the WWE. But I think it would be not to say unfair, because WWE, they're going to do what they want at the end of the day. But I think it'd be messed up if WWE didn't, after everything that they've done for this guy, sign him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I want to throw this up because Luke followed up with that super chat. Excuse me. And he says, I think he goes to, he says, I think he goes to WWE because of WrestleMania, which you got to think now. WWE got the WrestleMania moment from him. They got the Royal Rumble moments from him. He showed up on NXT. What else do they really need from Joe Hendry? Like, why does a full-time run actually matter?
That's kind of the thing. Like, I don't know if it necessarily does. I don't know if it necessarily does.
It would be kind of silly.
Messed up. That's messed up.
Oh, and then by the way, by signing Joe Hendry, you're effectively hurting TNA. So why? Like, it doesn't even make sense for both companies. It doesn't make sense. You just listen. The only person it makes sense for, by the way, is Joe Hendry, because if he goes to WWE, he gets the bag.
Yes. Correct.
That's the only person that benefits from this. WWE already got everything they needed to benefit off of Joe Hendry. TNA losing him would hurt them. Why even do it? Yeah, he had a freaking WrestleMania moment with Randy Orton, and then he's in interviews talking about doing more WrestleManias.
Because when you get it, you want more, right? We can agree on that. When you do,
but he's not even being secretive. He's like in these interviews, like, oh, more WrestleManias. Like, yeah, bro, we know you're gonna go to WWE. Cool, good for you.
You got a gripe with Joe Hendry?
No, I think Joe Hendry's sick. I'm just saying, any person with a fucking brain cell literally can hear, like, it doesn't make sense for WWE to sign him. It doesn't make sense.
At the end of the day, I think you're absolutely right, where it would hurt TNA more to lose Joe Hendry at this stage, right?
But it doesn't. But it also doesn't benefit WWE. Name one benefit. This guy, like, I'm telling you right now, as much as I hate to admit this.
Okay, so
you're telling me
I have to be, for the sake of argument, I have to be argumentative here and say, well, look at Jey Uso in him being the world champion.
Sure.
Right? A lot of people would compare what Joe Hendry is doing right now in this moment to what Jey is doing. So
not even on the same level.
Why so?
Not even on the same level. Joe Hendry, and I love TNA. This is coming from a
Mhm.
TNA
I was about
loyalist,
to say
right?
you're very big into TNA, correct?
Yeah, TNA doing 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 seats is amazing, but Joe Hendry isn't the draw. Jay Uso literally transformed from a tag team guy to a main event level talent because of this, and he is effectively getting the crowd 16,000 plus people yeeting. It's not apples to apples.
Yeah, and I have to say this though, like you're absolutely right. I agree with you 100%. I do believe that there's a separation there. I do believe that Jey Uso was obviously molded into this, right? He was kind of positioned for this. And I think Darth Bane said it in my chat. He said, "What makes you think that, or what's to say that WWE doesn't have a plan for him?" And I think we have to utilize that as yes, right? We could sit here right now in this current moment, know that Joe Hendry is going to run dry. But at the end of the day, there's always something that WWE can figure out to change something, to do something. So we could say right now, at this very moment, yes, he's a mid carder in the WWE with what he's doing at best, right? But who's to say that doesn't change down the line? That's why it's hard to tell. You never know if something is necessarily a good or bad idea up until the moment that it happens, and then you give it time.
But if you're effectively thinking about how WWE has utilized him, what more is there for to accomplish with him?
Well, he's not even in the WWE, so it's hard to tell, right? Okay, yes, he had
Wait,
his
he's not.
WrestleMania.
He's not in the WWE.
Right, correct.
But he's got a WrestleMania moment, Royal Rumble moments, feuds on NXT.
And what did he do in those matches? He
I
jobbed.
mean,
He jobbed, right?
okay. So hold on. So hold on. If they give him a win, you're saying it's going to propel him forward?
I'm not saying that that's going to propel him forward. I'm saying that everything that has happened has always been him jobbing, so we don't even necessarily know what a win for him looks like.
I'm going to be very, 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 very honest here. It doesn't matter. If WWE thought Joe Hendry was a great wrestler, they would
Mhm.
have brought him in before I believe in Joe Hendry took off. But they didn't. WWE utilized their partnership with
They are
TNA and
most
walked.
definitely capitalizing on a viral moment. We can agree on that.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And what happens when you're no longer viral? You fall off. And Joe Hendry's talented, but WWE has plenty of talents that are talented. It's not,
For
again, he
sure.
does not fill a void. He fills a void for NXT, yes, but they have him working NXT right now, and that's not a big deal. I'm a Joe Hendry fan. I'm a TNA fan, and I just don't think it makes sense for him to go to WWE.
And
Him politicking by going on interviews and talking about having WrestleMania matches with John Cena or being on John Cena's farewell tour. Oh, John Cena told me this backstage. Like, that's cool. Good job, buddy. Like, obviously, that would be huge. I would pop out. I would pop for John Cena versus Joe Hendry because that's
for
never been
sure.
done before. But
For sure.
but at the same time, too, what does that benefit? How does that benefit you? It's just a list of cool things you got to do while you're under the WWE umbrella. Joe Hendry obviously could see that TNA pays X amount and WWE pays X amount. WWE
Absolutely.
will probably pay more.
Mhm.
That's why he would
Absolutely.
go there. For WWE, it makes no sense. It doesn't. And then for those, by the way, who want to see Sami Zayn and Braun Breaker and Carmelo Hayes and all these people become world champions, because everybody has a list of a million people that could be world champions. Now you're going to have Joe Hendry in the list. It's like, bro, it doesn't work that way. You can't. I'm sorry. It just don't work that way. I
For
love
sure.
Joe Hendry. I think he's talented. I don't think Joe Hendry going to WWE is a thing that makes WWE better. And
And
I
we
don't
don't
think
even know if that's necessarily going to be the case. I mean, yes, he could be politicking. Yes, he could be walking around saying like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna." Triple H told me I had
he's
numerous
angling
moments
for a job within the WWE, bro.
for sure, but he's never actually said it. You know what I'm saying? Like that. So us having this argument is kind of we don't know what's going to happen just yet. I mean, this partnership obviously, but again, there's also the level of maybe Triple H sees something that you and I sitting here don't.
Yeah, well, they didn't see it before. They didn't see it with Joe Hendry when Triple H had power in NXT. He didn't see it when Joe Hendry was working Ring of Honor for Sinclair. Triple H and WWE didn't see it. They only saw it. They're only capitalizing off of it because of the fact that he went viral. And I'm telling you
Sure.
right
Yeah.
now, even the buzz from his virality has gone down.
Yes, it has. Although I will say his pop was pretty large at
Yes,
WrestleMania.
he's going to get those big pops because people like him. But I'm just saying it for the sense that, like, everything has its own. Even with Yeet, bro, the Jay
Yeah,
Uso thing will eventually run its course.
there's a shelf life.
Yes.
We can agree on that.
So why would WWE come in and be like, "Hey, we'll pay you $500,000 a year," and like,
Again, it just goes down to we may not be seeing what somebody behind the scenes is seeing. And yes, you can say, oh, well, they didn't see it before. They capitalized on a viral moment. That's what WWE does. They capitalize on viral moments all the time. It's nothing new. We all know that they're a business at the end of the day. I don't even know why we're sitting here arguing about that point, right? But at the end of the day, they capitalized on it. They maybe see something. Maybe they see something further. Who are we to say? And no, you can say that all day, but you don't really know for a fact.
They don't.
You don't know that for a fact. That's the problem.
They don't. In fact, the title of today's stream is Trick Williams will become TNA World Champion, because that's the right move. You know why? Because if Trick Williams doesn't win, then it's the same old bullshit with Joe Hendry holding the belt, and they need to freshen things up. So if Joe Hendry lost the belt and won it back eventually, then maybe it becomes a little bit more interesting. But at the end of the day, it's gotten to a point, even if you watch TNA, TNA has not successfully built up the next guy to become world champion. Right now, it's teetering between Mustafa Ali and Mike Santana.
Right, correct.
Okay, so in the meantime, like, if Joe Hendry is WWE bound, it effectively hurts TNA, right? Just like Jordan Grace leaving TNA effectively hurts TNA.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we are at a stage currently, as it stands, with WWE, where in order for them to benefit off of Joe Hendry, it's only through the partnership. They got the WrestleMania moment. It went viral. They got their clips. How many times do we have to see Joe Hendry at a WrestleMania? It's good. Yeah, it's cool. Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, blah, blah, blah. But until this guy is actually like, I don't know at this point. Like, I don't even know what else to say. I think I've said it very well. He is literally a guy that WWE has been using TNA for to capitalize off of. And by the way, it makes no financial sense for WWE to do it because they don't have much to gain. Joe Hendry goes into the main roster, and what? You're going to have him feud with The Miz? You're going to go have him feud with, no.
Talking about the financials, they got money to blow. They don't care. I mean, they'll try anything. They could drop it later on if it doesn't work. I mean, that's a tough argument to make.
Oh, they can drop it, but now you're running into the same situation. I'm sorry, dog, but you're running into the same situation where it's like, well, they sign people and, oh, well, we don't have to pay you out the rest of your contract. You can't quit, but then we can release you.
Yeah, it's stupid. The business model is dumb. I'm not saying it's not.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not saying the business model is not dumb.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, bro. I see some people in chat. They're like, yo, Ango is negative Nancy. It's not, though. The thing is, I'm a huge fan of Joe Hendry. Guys, let me explain something. I worked the TNA press conference in Detroit. I met Joe Hendry. I can say a million nice things about this guy. He is a very delightful person to be around. This guy is cool. He gets it. He understands. But from a business perspective, the only winner out of that situation is Joe Hendry getting paid more money to be under WWE, right? Because TNA, yes, I say it all the time, TNA has always rebounded when talent leave. However, Joe Hendry is like the first massive baby face for TNA in a very long time. So they have benefited greatly from Joe Hendry. And we're not talking about Joe Hendry, like, and I hate to say this in a way because I do find him talented, but Joe Hendry, I think, has the catchy theme song. He does great character work. He's good at interacting with the crowd, and that's what got him viral, right?
Absolutely.
The fact that sports teams are playing his music, and the fact that sports teams, like, that's the thing. People do the turnaround and the clap, whatever.
Yeah, it works.
So that's what I'm saying. He is the only person that benefits out of this. WWE has already got their benefits, and TNA will be losing their top guy to WWE. It just doesn't make sense. It just does not. It's a business decision for everybody other than Joe Hendry, know. And at the end of the day, I feel like we've talked about this way too long. But
I was about to say.
But I will say, like, it's like, okay, right now you have Trick Williams beat Joe Hendry for the belt. It's going to keep things a little bit fresh, right?
Absolutely.
But eventually it has to lead to Trick dropping the belt back to Joe Hendry. So what is that doing for WWE? Nothing. Just doing things for the sake of doing it. It's not really beneficial.
Like you said, we've said on this topic for a long time. At the end of the day, I see I agree with people. I see both sides of our arguments. You know, I understand where you're coming from. It may not make sense from a WWE standpoint. It doesn't benefit, but it's also at the end of the day, WWE, they're gonna do what they want.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, no, in we actually agree on this topic in some ways, but we disagree on the most important part, and that's if WWE should sign him or not. And that's okay. Agree to disagree.
Yeah. Luke Newman dropped another super chat for $1.99. He says TNA has always rebounded when they lose top talent, which is true.
And it looks like they're going to do that with Mike Santana and Mustafa Ali.
But the problem though, this is the problem, and this is where I just hate AEW and WWE in general.
Mhm.
But the fact that so many people, they got so pissed at me when I would talk about Will Ospreay not signing with TNA.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I said, I remember making the video. I got a lot of hate for this, but I still firmly believe this. Had Will Ospreay, CM Punk, Mercedes, somebody big
Mhm.
sign with TNA, it would have transcended TNA into a whole different realm of success.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Now, TNA, on the other hand, is the company where people go there, they get rejuvenated and become this new character, and they get over. And then what happens? WWE or AEW poach them. Now,
Mhm.
sometimes they leave TNA and go to WWE or AEW and become successful, right? We saw
Yes.
this with LA Knight and Drew McIntyre, Drew Galloway at the time. Like they go to WWE
Mhm.
and they figured it out, right? But
Yeah.
that hurts Impact. That hurted them before.
Yeah, big time.
Now, Taya Valkyrie, Deonna Purrazzo, they left TNA, went to WWE, went to AEW, and they got screwed. TNA got screwed.
Yeah.
TNA always has to figure it out. TNA is always put in that position because they're the smaller company and they can't pay the type of contracts that WWE and AEW does. So
You're
the thing
correct.
is, what makes it so frustrating is that I wish in a perfect world somebody would be like, you know what? I'm going to help take this company to the top so that way they can get a great TV deal so they can start spending more money on
And we
talent.
all want to see that.
Who wouldn't?
Yes.
How cool would it have been? I understand Will Ospreay's killing it in AEW. I'm not against that, right?
But it would have been amazing if he would have signed.
Imagine a company where your top stars were Will Ospreay, Mercedes Moné, CM Punk, and then by the way, you have Josh Alexander's and the Jordan Graces and the Mike Santanas of the world. Like,
Yeah.
it would just a couple of big names would have just completely put it over to the top.
Agreed.
Luke also dropped another super chat and he says, what's the difference between LFG and Evolve and ID? So WWE Evolve is a show for mostly the WWE ID.
Talent.
Yes. Like the WWE ID talent. It's like a developmental for NXT. It basically took out LFG, not LFG, a level up, excuse me.
Yes.
So people from the Performance Center can go into Evolve and work. LFG is a reality show. It's a reality competition show
Yes.
with the winners being granted TV contracts, which, by the way, I want to
Yeah, we got to talk about
incredibly.
that.
I want to talk about it. Jasper Troy attacking Obafemi was a great way. Literally, just days after LFG airs, Jasper Troy comes out and attacks Obafemi. A very big statement. Very big
Talk
statement.
about making an impact.
That was legit.
Yeah, I
I
do
actually.
I want to talk about that.
So I know you don't watch LFG,
I
but
did watch the finals though.
yes, but here's the thing. Shiloh Hill is somebody who I was like, man, I like this guy.
I know
He's
you were advocating for him really heavy, and even watching him, like people had like compared him to like in some sense Bray Wyatt. I've
yeah,
seen
in
a
a
lot of
way.
that. Yeah.
Xena Sterling, another good thing, right? Now Shiloh Hill and Xena Sterling are confirmed for season 2, which is cool because that
Yes.
means we're gonna get to see more of them.
Absolutely.
Everybody that's on LFG, by the way, they're all under WWE contracts, just so everybody knows. But the point of the reality show is to get them to launch them right onto TV.
Right. Exactly. It's like a way to bring them up.
Yes, which I think is cool because Jasper Troy had a really dope debut, to be honest, the way they did it yesterday. Clearly has big potential, looked like a very big threat to Obafemi. maybe this plays a role into their match with Miles Bourne and Oba. We'll see. But the thing about LFG that's really nice is LFG was one of those shows where it kind of felt like Tough Enough
Mhm.
/ The Voice / American Idol / Ultimate Fighter from UFC. Like it just felt like a whole bunch of shows coming together for one. There is a lot of good that came from LFG. There's also some cons that I had to the show, but the show has been renewed again. We'll see what happens. With Evolve, I think we will also see people from LFG who didn't necessarily win the NXT TV contract show up on Evolve, which we already saw that with Troy Yearwood, I think was his name. So like
Mhm.
we are starting to see it. I think it's actually a really dope thing because now not everybody could be on not everybody could be on NXT, right?
Right.
So this is your way of seeing who's good, who's potential. I think
Absolutely.
actually what this does, maybe, and I'll let you chime in, but I think what this will do is eventually change it to where NXT is 100% the third brand.
Yeah, and I think that's no need to chime in. That's just simply what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 1000%, brother.
Shout out to Luke Newman for all those super chats. Hopefully I didn't miss any more. The chat has been moving pretty fast, so hopefully that is taken care of. Um, Wow, yeah, that was oh my god. Luke Newman dropping another super chat, $1.99. He says, "When do you think the Righteous will debut in WWE?"
I can't. We talked about Karrion Cross yesterday.
It would be sick. Money in the Bank. He's climbing and the Righteous help him.
Again, I think he's bigger than that, but I see where you're coming from, and I wouldn't hate it. So, I mean, Money in the Bank, help him win.
But that's if Karrion Cross is even in the match, which as of right
Right.
now, there's no indication.
That he even is getting a qualifier match for it. But Shinsuke is getting a qualifier match over on SmackDown. So I'll be kind of upset if we don't see Karrion Cross. But again, that's what they want me to think.
Remember how we were having that conversation where like, oh, Karrion Cross should just freaking take over the entire show, like
Yeah.
attack everybody,
Yep.
cameramen, people,
Yep.
this, that, blah, blah. Kind of would be sick if he did it with the Righteous.
Yeah, it would be. It would be. It'd be awesome.
Yeah. Not just so everybody knows too, there has been no guarantee that the Righteous are debuting in WWE.
No.
There's just been some
It's just been him. I mean, I know he played the song, right?
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
no, and the Righteous have teased that as well on social media.
Have they? Okay, I
Yeah.
haven't seen them. Okay. That would make sense then. That would make sense.
Yeah.
For sure, man.
It's an interesting one.
Absolutely.
Shout out to Luke Newman for all those super chats. Am I missing any?
I don't think so.
No,
I
I don't
don't
think
think
so.
so. Oh,
All right.
you got another one.
199 from Luke Newman. Got to get to the super chat goal and go, you're welcome.
Give
We
me
hit the
that
super
goal.
chat goal. Hell yeah.
I'm 2 away from my super chat goal. So if anybody, feel free. We're 2 away.
Perfect.
2
Bet.
away
Love
from
it.
it. We're doing this, man. We're here.
Yeah, I could tell. I was just a little frustrated today. Just
Yeah,
my
dude.
mood was a little bit different.
People in the chat, they're like, "Man, what's going on with Dango? Is he okay? What's wrong with
I'm
this
just
guy?"
so mad, you know. You know what makes
So
me mad, Billy? You know what just really grinds my gears?
you know what grinds my gears?
Nah, I
You
just
guys should go watch the TikTok that he posted.
yeah, that was fun. I mean, that kind of indicates everything you need to know about my
Right,
mood.
his stance. Yeah, it started there. Started with that thing. That was tough.
My thing that I've just really because here's the thing, I'm not mad, but the thing about wrestling is it's one thing to say I like this, I like that, right?
Yeah,
We know this. But
correct.
what really does piss me off is like when I see like nobody sits here and gives me a good rhyme or reason about the Joe Hendry thing. People can tell me all the time, "Oh, Joe Hendry he can be in a situation where he gets repackaged, he gets a new character."
Yeah.
I understand, but we still have a bloated roster issue in this company.
For sure, which is crazy because there's 3 shows obviously that you can utilize the roster.
Yeah, so it's like, again, it's not a void. The Joe Hendry people, and you guys need to remember though, what did I say about the about NXT before for a little bit of time? Man, the world championship picture, it's like the
Yeah,
world
we've
championship
been
picture is
saying
like it needs help, bro. Okay, Joe Hendry's not necessarily fighting Obafemi, but
correct. No, that was kind of the big thing. We were talking about it before. The main event scene in the men's division on NXT has just been a little lackluster. But I feel a little bit differently now, if I'm being honest.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, of course, because it got better.
right. It did.
But
They
at the
fixed the
time, it
problem.
made sense. At
Right,
that time, it made sense,
for sure,
So,
for sure.
shout out to Luke Newman. Excuse me. Um, Billy got a super chat from Right Hand Cam, $5. He says, I said this before LFG ended. If in your LFG you sign with Evolve, you can get called up NXT and the main roster. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I
Yep.
think with LFG, if you don't win a TV contract for NXT, you could still technically be on Evolve. Or
Which
you could
is
come back for the next season of LFG.
LFG, right? Exactly. It feels like they're utilizing both in a really good way. I'm
Which
happy
is,
with it.
by the way, because they've for the next 3 years there'll be 2 seasons per year. It's kind of
Correct.
nice because if you don't necessarily win, you have a chance to redeem yourself. And
Well, it's also really cool for somebody who maybe wasn't fully intrigued in LFG in the beginning. I'm now kind of more in the loop, and I do think I'll be tuning into season 2. I'm doing some right now. I'll be coming back to you guys here soon. I did go back and watch LFG, or I started watching it, so I'm just getting through it. But I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna give everybody my thoughts later on about that show. But I did love the ending. I did watch the ending because I wanted to see and be caught up with because I kind of figured they would debut on NXT,
yeah,
and I wanted to make sure that I knew Tasha May Steele and then Anthony Joshua as well. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So yeah, no, I love it, man. I love it.
Shout out to Right Hand Cam.
You
Did
did
I
get a soup.
miss?
Oh wait,
Hmm?
I think I was about to say. Hold on. Yeah, Brian McCaddy dropped one on your channel.
Yep. Uh, Good. I was just making sure I didn't miss any. Brian
Nope.
McCaddy dropped 5. He says, I see Pete hasn't learned a thing. Same blind hatred and same lemming attitude. Hope this helps for the super chat goals. Shout out to Brian. Um,
We
you know,
we feel
yeah, see, here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? Let's just kind of like address this shit, right?
do it,
The
dude.
chat moves too fast. I haven't been able to see everything. I don't know.
Yeah, me either. I haven't been able to really peep anything. What what happened?
Nothing. I'm just,
Oh, okay. All right. Brian
okay.
McCaddy making things controversial.
Yeah, Brian, come on, man. You always put me in a bad spot. Shout out to Brian McCaddy. Darth Bane dropping $1.99 on Billy's channel. Ango needs a Snickers.
Yeah, bro, go eat a Snickers. You're not
You're
yourself
not.
when you're not yourself.
I whipped myself up a nice, beautiful breakfast today.
You did. In that big air fryer. The thing was ginormous.
Air fryer, pots and pans. Just whipping it up, baby. Starting to cook again. No more eating out.
No more eating out. No more eating out, man.
Yeah. Which reminds me, I do got to go to the grocery store later and get some more stuff. But
So
we out here.
okay, is that all the super chats that we've gotten through? Shout out Darth Bane, bro. Thank you so much. You guys hit the goal over on my channel. I'm not gonna let that fly over. Thank you so much, guys. That's awesome.
Yeah. Shout out to Darth Bane. Shout out to everybody. We both had our super chat goals. Very nice. Thank you,
Look
guys.
at
That was
that.
very, very
That's
nice
the
of you
first
guys.
time I've ever set up a goal. Well, not the first time I've ever set up a goal, but it's the first time that we've both had a goal during this live show. So that's kind
Yeah.
of cool, man.
Very cool.
Absolutely.
Brian McCaddy dropping $2. He says, I haven't dropped that comment lately.
And we know what comment he's talking about. Oh, no. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, it's just
I hope everybody else knows what we're talking about because he does it all the time to us.
I know. He says I'm not.
Cool.
Oh, it was so funny, bro. He's
Yeah.
something else. Brian, you're something else, man.
Hilarious. I love it.
I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you. um yeah, man. I don't know. That was just funny. Well, see, the thing is, like, okay, I don't even know what does AEW have advertised today. Hold on. F it. We're just gonna let's just see Tony Khan Twitter because he makes the announcements himself.
That he does. He's the man.
He hasn't announced anything. Oh, he did.
What do you announce?
Julia Hart versus Mina Shirakawa versus Tony Storm is on commentary. So obviously, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so funny. Shout out to Brian McHattie, bro. I appreciate
Shout
you.
out, Brian, bro.
Don't get us in trouble, bro. Don't get us in
No,
trouble.
please, bro. We're doing good.
Um,
Oh,
look what you started, Billy.
Well, bro, I mean, you come on here, bro. You act different. You're not yourself without a Snickers. Bro, you're agitating me.
Nah, this is me. This is me. I don't give a shit what anybody says. This is me. You guys don't ever worry about it. You're never getting a fake version of me on this stream.
Thank goodness, right?
You'll get the 100% me. You like me, you hate me, it's up to you. But Dynamite actually should be kind of cool today. Dynamite should be kind of cool. I want to see what happens. I think Cedric Alexander debuts, but we'll see.
They were supposed to do that last week,
Well,
but they didn't. It's okay.
MJF contract signing today, that kind of thing.
Right. I hope said debuts. I'll be tuning into Evolve.
Yeah. I don't know what I'll watch tonight.
I have options. I have choices, I know I'm going to make some people in the chat a little angry with my Evolve choice. But other people would kind of be happy.
Well, remember what happened on Twitter when I said I was watching Evolve over Dynamite? Yeah. And then a whole bunch of people who proceed to not know who I am or how even my interest
lost their mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So that's funny.
That's amazing.
That's cool, man. That's cool. Honestly, I think this is perfect, man. We just went an hour. I feel like an hour is great, unless there's any super chats questions or something that I'm missing. But
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't think so. I think we're good. I think we are good.
But if you want to pick some people in the chat, just read some of their comments. We'll show them some love.
Yeah, for sure. Darth Bane actually just dropped one on my channel. He said Chelsea Green's group is going to be called the Secret Harvest as they have filed for a trademark for the name.
Yeah.
Hasn't it been named that?
Yes, but it's like official.
Okay.
Yeah, because in prior episodes it would kind of be like, hey, this is her secret harvest,
Right, exactly. Now it's just the Secret Harvest.
Yeah.
Got it. That's kind of cool. Cool. Shout out to them. I'm excited then. You got anybody? Want to bring up anybody?
Luke Newman asks, he's like, how do I get into the Discord? You should be able to look at it through here.
Yeah, it should be linked, right?
In the chat. Let me see if it did that. Did it pop up in there? The link? I'll throw a new link in there.
Yeah, you got to.
I don't know why. I know Mike even mentioned too that it's starting to like not work the bot, the chat bot. So I'll have to figure that out.
Yeah.
But I threw that in the chat. Luke Newman, if you want to join Discord, if anybody wants to join Discord, go ahead.
Pull through.
Darren Buss coming through with a 4.99. He says, if you had a chance to be a wrestler, what kind of wrestler would you be, and what would be your gimmick? I'm going to assume that's what you're asking.
Yeah, I think that is.
Billy, I'll let you go first. I have to think about mine.
So when I was a kid, so my last name's Davis. I used to call myself Harley Davison or Harley Davis. That's what it was. Excuse me. And I thought it was like the coolest name ever. Um, I was the United States champion, right, in my trampoline association. And I'll be honest, I was a big body. I was no different than what Otis is doing. You know what I'm saying? I was prepared to beat people down. You know, so if it were up to me, I'd be like a mix between Otis and like Kurt Angle, right? I think that's where I'd fit. So yeah, man. That'd be my gimmick. I'd be a singlet wrestler for sure.
A
Just
singlet wrestler.
out there ready to tear things up.
So it's actually really funny. I think that's a good, like the Harley Davidson
Dog,
thing. Like,
yeah.
hey, it's
I
cool.
had
It's
it
cool.
like because I had the replica belt, the US
Yeah.
Championship replica belt. I had my name engraved in it.
So my whole situation is completely different because when I was a kid, I called myself TG Styles.
TG's. Okay.
uh Legit TG Styles. But I spelled it with a Z at the end.
Okay, so
So
you were different than AJ.
yeah, so it was like this. Like in the chat, I just posted it.
TG Styles.
TG Styles, baby.
Let's go.
That's how I personally did it. I thought it was funny at the time
Yeah, yeah.
because I think for me, I was a huge fan, especially like early days, like early TNA, like huge fan of AJ.
Yeah.
The way I was as a wrestler, I hate to literally say this, but it was literally AJ Styles X Division. Like that was me, bro, as a kid. And you know, when you wrestle like on a trampoline or whatever, to
Yeah.
me that was one of the freaking funniest things ever, bro. Like that
That's because
was
it is funny, bro.
yeah. We built a wrestling ring in my basement
You
as
built
kids.
like an actual ring?
Yeah, like an actual ring.
Get out. For real?
Yeah.
How'd you do that?
I don't know. We were kids. Used our imagination.
See, you had a bigger imagination than us. We thought it was like it was it was the trampoline or nothing.
Yeah, we did the trampoline thing for sure. That was
Dude, I
always
used to
funny.
I mean, I hope no, but obviously just for like viewer discretion, I hope nobody ever tries this. But like, dude, we used to wrestle at like baseball, like parks, and like jump off
Really?
the cages. Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, dude, we did the dude, it was just a fun time back then. I don't know. I remember we wrestled outside, put the TV to the window and wrestled with our neighbors.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that was fun. We would turn on WWE Velocity and start doing wrestling moves and stuff. But for me, it was always I was just a TG Styles. I don't know. And it's so funny because
I love it.
I'll play like WWE video games and stuff, and I just put
Yeah.
TG Styles, and I would put my face in the game, and then just pretty much copy like AJ Styles moves and stuff, you know. Uh, but I will say this: the one thing that is really interesting is I feel like anybody who watches wrestling as a kid growing up always had that like you had your toy belts and you had your gimmick,
Yeah, for sure.
you know?
Absolutely.
What would be my gimmick though? Like an actual gimmick. How about this? What would be your gimmick today?
What would okay.
Like
Okay.
right now, like you would pick a gimmick. Would you go to the Harley Davis thing?
No, no, I definitely think it would be much different than that. Um so I mean, truth be told, dude, it's like my gimmick would be myself, but it'd be more of a upscaled version of me, right? It would be more realist than anything. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Um, so I think it would be that. It would be going out, They say the nicest guys on the planet do the best work as a heel,
Mhm.
and I think I would try to like tap into that.
So
That's
you would be
something
a heel?
for sure, for
Yeah, I
sure.
would be too.
I don't know, man. I don't know what it is that excites me about being a heel, but there's just something that seems fun about it. But then, like, again, dude, it's how you work the crowd. You know what I mean? We go back to what happened between you and I and how we did that. That was
Yeah.
supposed to, the roles were supposed to be reversed.
Well, and so that's why I mean, I just think it would be so fun to be a heel, but like even modern day, if I had a gimmick, I would probably lean towards being like a mobster. Like like the Tony D'Angelo thing is so
Yeah.
sick, but I would
Yeah.
be more extreme with it. But like I would probably kind of take something like that.
Yeah. I mean, if we're going that route and like we're actually talking like gimmicky stuff,
Yeah.
I'd like to play like almost like kind of what Drew's doing, the psychopath.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd like to do that.
This is interesting. Brian McCaddy dropped a $5 super chat and he said, private pile type of character from Full Metal Jacket, kind of like Loomis, Muse, Psycho entrance theme, similar
Hmm.
to Righteous type of presentation.
Yeah,
That would be interesting. I
that'd be
can
cool though.
never like here's the thing for me as like a I'm religious, obviously, so I don't feel like I can do like I feel like the Righteous and the Wyatt family and like those like cult like gimmicks. I would
Dude,
just
they're
feel so
amazing.
wrong. They're awesome to watch, but I would just feel so weird doing it. So I couldn't do that.
Yeah, no, I can understand that.
Oh my god.
I-
Um this is a good conversation. Hold on,
It
I'm
is.
trying to
It
think.
is. It is.
What else? What else would I do?
I
Low key, can I tell you something? Low
Yeah.
key. This sounds dumb. I'd probably do something like Doink the Clown.
Why do you say that?
Cause like imagine if you did like an evil version of Doink the Clown. Like when I say evil, I'm talking like crazy. Like think of like It, the movie It, you know? Like, I don't know, bro. Just like something crazy, something that would scare the people, scare the kids,
Oh, that'd be kind of cool though, man.
right?
Um, that would be. That'd be kind of interesting actually. I'm trying to think. If I had to Okay. Okay. So it almost be like when I talk about like a psychopath,
Yeah.
very like Jason vibes, like the mask. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That type of stuff. I think that'd be fire
Kobe in the chat says we don't have those crazy gimmicks in
in
wrestling
wrestling.
anymore.
No, we don't.
Brian also followed up with that. He said, "Cross the Fiend with Pennywise." Like, yeah, bro. Like that would be kind
That'd
of
be
sick.
tough.
I don't know. Like, I think it would be kind of crazy to just have a freaking psychopath, like next level scary ass. I don't know, bro. I mean, as a kid, when I was a kid, I got scared by Kane and the Undertaker all the time.
Did you really?
I
So,
have a funny story.
dude, so do I. Go ahead. I'll let you tell yours
I
first.
remember this. I don't know how. Like, some people. I don't know what it's called, but like, there's dreams that you have as a kid, or like nightmares that you have as a kid that you'll still be able to remember when you're older.
Yes.
And there was one dream specifically, and I could tell you exactly what it's from because I remember when WWE did the whole crucifixion thing with like Stone Cold
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah,
everybody,
yeah. Yeah.
And I had a dream that one time as a kid, like my mom and my brother and I, we all went to like WWF or whatever. We went to WWE show. We got front row.
Yeah.
And for some reason, we were able to go backstage. I don't know why I still remember this dream to this day, but we were able to go backstage. And next thing you know, you just see Kane and The Undertaker chasing me backstage. And I lose my mom. I lose my brother. I can't find them.
You
And
said this is no good.
bro, I walk into a room and like I'm telling you, this shit is so freaking crazy. I remember having this dream as a kid, and even being older, like watching The Undertaker, and for whatever reason, the lighting was blue. The
Okay.
lighting of the room was it's just crazy because the room but like I remember the lighting was blue, bro. The lighting was blue, and then Kane comes in and he does that thing, where like with his nose, and just fire rises everywhere. And I finally walk away from backstage and get back to my seat, and everybody's like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" I don't know why I had this dream, bro. Until this day, I'll never figure it out. But that's how much the Undertaker and Kane scared the shit out of me as a kid.
Bro, so Undertaker is the one person who just scared me beyond belief, bro. So I went to WrestleMania 23 in Detroit when it was here in 2007, and the Undertaker was obviously facing Batista, right? Now, this is my first live show. At this point, I had never gone to a live show, so WrestleMania is my first experience. So obviously, I know about the Undertaker. I know what he does. The lights go out every time he comes out, all this. I also knew that there was fire and like pyro that would come up and then the lightning would strike, right?
Yep.
So the Batista match comes up, the Batista Undertaker match comes up, and I'm sitting out there and I'm with a person at the time, and bro, when I tell you I broke down in tears because the lights went out.
Yeah.
And I thought he was like gonna pop up like in front of my face.
Yeah.
And then when they struck the lightning, bro, I almost peed myself.
Oh my God.
Bro, it's a real story. This happened. I was beyond scared. The Undertaker scared the living crap out of me as a kid. I will say that is the one person that WWE just he did his job.
So let me ask you a question then.
Yeah.
When you were younger, who to you was like the cool wrestler? Like that's who I want to like hang out with type shit.
Jeff, for sure.
Jeff, yeah.
Yeah, Jeff Hardy. I thought Jeff Hardy was dude, I thought he was the man. And it's so funny that we talk about this, and I had like this problem, but I thought Randy Orton was always super cool too. I was like, I'd probably get along with that guy real well. Come to find out, you hear the stories about Randy Orton. Like, maybe not back then.
I don't know what it is, but I think it's so funny, like, looking back too, because me and you are a little bit different in age. Not too much, but like being a 90s kid for me, like looking back, I remember like I always thought, which this is so crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I always thought like Triple H was like the coolest wrestler.
Oh, for sure. He had
I
swagger.
remember like he would come out on like during especially the Ruthless Aggression era. I don't know why. I know a lot of people don't think Triple H was that cool, but like from like 97 all the way to like 2004, like I would just say like Triple H was just so sick, bro. Like Triple H was like, the of course, what kid doesn't do the water bottle, And it's so funny, like hearing you talk about Randy Orton, because when Randy Orton started coming up on the scene, I always thought Randy was cool as hell. I was like, oh, he's the man. Like,
dude, I really did. As a kid, I was like, dude, this guy, the man. I was like, I want to hang out with this guy. I thought he was cool. Obviously, I grew up in the John Cena era. I love John Cena. You know what I'm saying? But when it came down to it, I mean, I was a fan of two people. I had their merchandise. I had the whole night. It was Jeff Hardy and it was Randy Orton.
Yeah.
Which they're polar opposites. You know what I mean?
Of course.
But dude, like I remember Randy Orton. I was at the Royal Rumble in 2009.
Yeah.
When he won. Dude, when I tell you I was so excited, I'm pretty sure I cried a little bit. Because everybody when I was a kid, they used to tell me that I looked like Randy Orton. It was like a running joke. Oh, dude. Because I have a widow's peak. And Randy's pokes out a little bit too.
Yeah.
And at the time I wasn't as big as I am now, 230 pounds, but at the time I was very skinny, you know what I mean? So yeah, no, as a kid I was told all the time that I looked like Randy Orton.
That's wild.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Hard to tell now, I understand.
Well, now you got long ass hair and shit too. So
right, exactly.
What a great super chat.
That was a lot of fun. That was
good.
Man.
I don't know. Sometimes I like talking about wrestling and then just things that are relevant to wrestling, but just off the wall type shit. So that was fun.
It's a lot of fun.
That was cool. Well, I appreciate everybody coming through. That was very, very fun.
It was.
NXT, very good episode. Super, super, super excited for Battleground, so that should be very fun as well.
Absolutely.
I look forward to seeing what goes down this weekend, Saturday night's main event. Tomorrow we will be doing Saturday night's main event predictions.
We're gonna do those tomorrow.
I believe so.
Okay.
We'll figure it out. Maybe tomorrow's gonna be a prediction show kind of day.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll figure it out, whether it's Double or Nothing or Battleground or whatever.
Yeah, because we do have both of them.
Yeah, it's gonna be, and then of course predictions Friday. So we'll figure it all out. But Billy's gonna be live tonight for WWE Evolve. If you guys want to watch along, make sure you guys check that out. And I'll be back later with more videos and content and all that good stuff. I appreciate everybody coming through, helping us reach our super chat goals. Thank you to everybody for being part of the show today and letting us get off the walls crazy with that stuff. That was fun. Yeah, appreciate y'all, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Peace.